Hello and welcome to this month's webinar. My name's Tom and I am the Learning and Development Consultant here at Health Assured. I will be talking to you about resilience in the workplace. Please feel free to pause, rewind or even revisit this presentation as necessary to allow yourself a comfortable listening. The objectives of this webinar is to help you understand what resilience is and how this applies to the workplace. In addition to this, I will also be running through some best practice and exploring the different ways in which we can become more resilient. So let's start by defining what resilience is. Essentially, resilience is the ability to cope with everyday challenges and adapt to adversity. Resilience is what gives people the psychological strength to cope with the stress and hardship of everyday life. It's the mental reservoir of strength that people are able to call on in times of need to carry them through the difficult times. The best way I like to think about resilience is that it's a person's ability to bounce back and grow from challenging situations. Resilience is being aware that we cannot avoid the day-to-day stresses of life, but we can develop mental toughness and coping mechanisms to allow ourselves to bounce back, essentially to be resilient. When applying this to the workplace, resilience is about maintaining your own high performance and a positive sense of well-being, even when facing difficult times, high-pressured workloads or misfortune. In the workplace, it's not enough just to bounce back. Employees today must develop a thicker coat of armour so that future stressors do not have as much impact on them. At work, we can support our team and each other in becoming more resilient by helping them find a balance between burnout and rust out. Burnout is when we feel like we are under too much pressure and stress, but go until we cannot go anymore. On the opposite side, if we do not challenge ourselves at all, we can become victim to rust out, where we live in a constant state of boredom, which once again is not an ideal situation. When considering your own resilience in a stressful situation, consider asking yourself these questions. Is this how I normally am? How extraordinary are my circumstances? And what can I actually deal with? An important part of resilience is being self-aware. Are you aware of what stresses are in your life and what your capacity to deal with them is? Would you know if you're coming up to your tipping point, or would you only know after it's too late? Our resilience is key to maintaining our mental well-being and not letting common mental health issues such as stress, anxiety, or depression overcome us. So what can a resilient person do then? Well, to begin with, they have a positive attitude and look for opportunities and problems. There are many other things that a resilient person would be able to do, but the main one is that they learn from their mistakes. As humans, we are bound to make mistakes. These can be unavoidable at times, but it's how we learn and grow from them which helps us to not make any future ones. I am now going to look at the ways in which we can build our resilience against future stresses. The first being your attitude and outlook. The way you look at life and its inevitable changes makes a huge difference in your ability to handle stress. If you're generally a hopeful, optimistic person, you'll be less vulnerable. Stress-hardy people tend to embrace challenges, have a stronger sense of humour, believe in a higher purpose and accept change as an inevitable part of life. As mentioned earlier, your ability to know, be self-aware, and deal with your own emotions plays a huge part in resilience. If you don't know how to calm and soothe yourself when you're feeling sad, angry, or even troubled, you're more likely to then become more stressed and agitated. Having the ability to identify and deal appropriately with your emotions can increase your tolerance to stress and then help you bounce back from that. In addition to the above, the more you know about a stressful situation, including how long it will last and what to expect, the easier it then is to cope. For example, if you go into surgery with a realistic picture of what to expect from a post-op, a painful recovery will be less stressful than if you're expecting to bounce back immediately. The main thing to remember is that one size doesn't fit all. There are many different coping techniques that can be used to build resilience, but what we need to remember is what works for one may not work for another. Don't be too hard on yourself if something doesn't work for you. Just learn from it and try something else. On this slide, you will see the most common and effective ways of becoming a resilient person. Some points have been covered throughout this presentation, so I will focus on a couple of the key aspects that I believe are most important when considering resilience in the workplace. The first of these being developing meaningful connections. Studies have clearly evidenced that one of the biggest building blocks of resilience is connection, but not just any old connection, meaningful connections. Meaningful relationships are critical to resilience. According to business and psychology professor Dr. Jane Dutton, there are 4 distinct pathways for building meaningful connections at work. The first is respectfully engaging others by communicating supportively and being an effective listener. The second is to facilitate another person's success with guidance, recognition and support. Third, we need to build trust. This can be done by relying on another person to follow through on projects or other commitments. To help build meaningful relationships, you can start by showing up as your real self. Resilience is about being authentic. Resilient employees work in accordance with their own values and strengths. Vulnerability may feel like a weakness, but that looks like courage to everybody else. Another pathway to building resilience is to show true grit. Grit is defined as having the passion and perseverance to pursue your long-term goals. Grit has been shown to predict success in many different avenues. Working on truly challenging goals means that you're going to experience obstacles. These obstacles help you build resilience, and therefore when future obstacles come up, you will be able to bounce back from them as you will be grittier due to the resilience that you have gained from that experience. Another pathway is mental toughness and flexibility. When you experience a stress-producing event at work, what do you think to yourself about that event? Do you see where you have any control, influence, or leverage in that situation, or do you fold and accept it? Some people jump to conclusions about a situation while others maintain a flexible and accurate thinking style. Some people catastrophise. They let their worst case scenario thinking get the best of them, and it stops them from taking purposeful action. Resilient employees track their thoughts, emotions and reactions when they're under stress in order to notice counterproductive patterns that might be undercutting their success. There are multiple physical health benefits that people associate with sleep and exercise, but these are also key to ensuring that you are looking after your mental health and can aid in building your resilience as to when you take care of your mind and body, you're able to cope effectively with challenges in your life. Every mistake has the power to teach you something important, so don't stop searching until you found the lesson in every situation. Also, make sure that you understand the idea of post-traumatic growth. There can be real truth in the saying that if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. In addition to this, resilient people understand that although a situation or crisis may seem overwhelming in the moment, it may not make a large impact when considering the long term. Try to avoid blowing events out of proportion. Overall, remember that resilience is different for every person. You need to find what works for you. In the workplace, remember to develop strong relationships with your colleagues, as this helps build your own resilience. But if that ever fails, your colleagues can also help give you resilience in that moment. For those who are just beginning their resilience journey, try setting SMART goals. These are goals which are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. I would like to thank you for listening and watching this webinar on resilience in the workplace. I hope you have found this enjoyable and informative. Please do contact our helpline if you would like any further advice or if you require any support. We operate a 24/7, 365 days a year helpline and can be contacted directly on 0800 030 5182. Thank you.